Hello everyone, and welcome back to the fourth and final part of calling .NET libraries. And this last part here, we're going to select the limbs ML file, and we're going to automatically submit it, have all the automation, not only submit the sample, but to force the recalculation. So let's see how that's done. First thing we need to do is craft up a limbs ML file, and I need to point out a few things on the when you're using calculated values in your analysis. So here's a sample limbs ML file that I crafted up, and similar to a previous episode, other than when you're using calculated values in your analysis, be sure to include this parameter called parameter name equals recalculate true. That will force any fields in your test results, any field that has a calculated value. It's going to force it to calculate. So, which is going to cause the .NET DLL to be called, and etc., etc. But in this particular case, notice I'm using, it's just, I have a results entry, create a sample. This is, sample template. It's booze. The analysis that I'm using is booze QA, and I'm going to send it. All I'm going to do is populate the temperature. But as you know, when I populate the temperature, and I'm going to give it a value here, let me give it 100. I think the results of that. Let me take a look at the code real quick, and we'll see what that will result to. Well, when you pass the temperature in, it's going to evaluate that and set the temperature label. So let's go with something less than 32. Let's go for a frozen value. Okay. So let's give it a value of, say, 25. Oh, let me click in here. 25.55. Alright, let's go with that. So I'm going to save this limbs ML file, and you can see it's called sample login with results limbs.ml.net. That's the one we're going to select. So I'll pull up the application I wrote, and I run through the process again. In this case, I'm going to pick the limbs, the sample login with results here, the one we just crafted up. Click open. It's going to load the document. It's going to add the authentication header, and it's going to process it. Okay. Go ahead and create a sample using my automation. So I'm going to use template, give it a template, booze, pick one, login, click login, pick the analysis booze QA, click OK, click close here, go to login. You can see it's here. Click in login or results entry by sample. Go ahead and put in here like 120, then click the calculate field, and you can see it says too hot. It called the DLL, and so we know everything is working. Test worked. Let's pop back over to the automation. Let's craft up our file. Let's give it 21, and just as a temperature, let's save that. Let's go ahead and start up the .NET application. Let's process this XML file. Open it up. It's going to load it. It's going to add the encryption header, and it's going to submit it. Okay, now that we got the response, let's go check SampleManager and see what we got. So the last sample that we had is 1445. Let me do a rebuild. We should see 1446. The temperature was 21. And you can see 21 and frozen. So all the automation worked perfectly fine. We called the DLL. We created DLL. We incorporated it into a calculation. We automated the submission of a result and a test. And that's it, folks. Hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for further episodes. Have fun. Take care.